Hi everyone, welcome to another interesting tutorial. One of us requested for this tutorial and I decided to make it ASAP. So here you will learn how to turn a keyhole with lining. So wherever the keyhole is, whether on the neckline, anywhere it is, you with this video you should be able to turn the keyhole. Here I'll be showing you how to turn the keyhole on the neckline. So I'll show you two methods here in this video. So I will show you how to use these two methods in turning your keyhole. So here is my main fabric and my lining. I have put my interfacing on the lining. So you can see the whitish material is called the interfacing. So I use a paper stay for the lining so that it will be neat while turning it. So here is my neckline. After you have put your standard neckline, maybe 3.5 by 3.5, I mean the width and the length. So I take 2 inches. I take 2 inches from the original neck depth. So the neck depth is 3.5 thereabout before I take my 2 inches. So I will now take half inch on the neckline and half inch here. So I'm trying to take my sewing allowance half inch up and down. So the width here will now be 1 inch. The remaining width will be 1 inch that will be left. You know, originally we took 2 inches from the beginning. So half inch up and half inch down will give us 1 inch altogether. So here is my keyhole. This is where my keyhole will start. So I'll put a straight line here to indicate where my keyhole will start. And I will now take the width of the keyhole, the width as 1.5. So that by the time I turn it, I'll be left with by the time we turn it finish, we'll have something like 2.5. So here I will also have 1.5 here also. Then I will draw a straight line, then put a curve for my keyhole. So you can see I have drawn the circle. So this is how you are going to draw the circle. Just draw the circle this way. Whichever shape you want to make, you can make a love shape, you can make a triangle shape, whichever shape you want to make. Just make sure it is not too wide. Make sure it is not too wide. So the width here on fold is just like 1.5 inches. I think that is okay. So that by the time you turn it, you are done turning, you will have like 2.5. So I will now go ahead and do the same thing that I did to the line, to the main fabric. I will do the same thing on the lining. So I will just place it on the lining like so. Make sure you fold into two so that you'll be able to get your center front accurately. Then I will just bring out the keyhole on the lining. I'll cut out the keyhole on the lining like so. So I'll cut out the keyhole on the lining like so. Just cut it neatly. So this is how it will be. Then I'll place the lining on the main fabric. So placing the lining on the main fabric, you can see that I've ironed the center front and you can see the ironing line. So I will just pin it down. I'll pin it on the four sides like so. So after pinning, then I will chalk out my sewing allowance round. This is how I'm going to sew round. So you can see the chalk that I'm using to trace it. So I'll just follow the chalk lines and stitch like so. Whichever shape you have put there, maybe you put a triangle shape, you are going to follow the shape and stitch that way. So after I have stitched that way and I make sure that it's very neat, then I'm going to notch. The notching is very essential. That's why you can see that I changed my scissors to a very sharp one so that I'll be able to use the tip to notch. So if you have anything you can use to notch accurately, just use it and notch neatly. So I notched like seven seven areas on the circle. So just notch as much as possible so that your sewing allowance will be able to relax. So after you have notched, then I'll turn like so. Just follow the keyhole, turn inside the keyhole so that you will have this. So I have turned like so to the, so we have the keyhole this way. So you can see the keyhole is really nice and the shape is coming out very well. So I will now, what I will do now is to go and give it a nice press. I'll press it very well. So while pressing it, I will make sure that everything lay down flat. press it very well neatly. Then after I've pressed it neatly, I will now get my hemming gum. So the reason why I want to use this hemming gum is to make sure that the circle did not is very firm, and whenever I'm turning the circle, the sewing allowance will still be intact. So that's why I'm using this, and it will be able to lay down flat. It will be neat. So when you use your hemming gum, you can see that I cut my hemming gum. I didn't use the widest one. I cut it into tiny strips. Then I use this tiny strips as a circle round the keyhole, so that it will be flat. But don't allow your hemming gum to get to your neckline. It mustn't get to that neck side, because you are still going to turn the neck. So here I will start the first method that I told you. I will start turning the neckline. So I will use right side to face right side like this. So just watch what I am doing. It's just like a twist. Then use your right side on the main fabric to turn the right side on the lining. So I'll pin it down, just pin it down the way I'm doing. Pin it down till you get to the center front. So make sure when as you are going towards the center front, it will be getting more difficult. It won't be that easy, but you just need to do that. So you just bring out your sewing your lining from the inside to the outside, then pin it down till you get to your center front. Remember, when you want to start, you need to notch your center front. Notch it so that you'll be able to know where your center front is on the lining and on the main fabric. So I've done one side because I've gotten to the center front. Then when I got to the center front, that's why I stopped. You can see that it's well turned already. So I will just go and stitch the same way using my sewing allowance, and I will achieve whatever I want to achieve. Then I'll move to the other side. I will do that also. This method is good for any material. Well, if you are working with a padded blouse, you are working with a padded blouse, this is the best method you can use, because you cannot use the last method I will show you. You can use it if you are working with a padded blouse, because it won't be easy. When we get there, you will understand what I am saying. So this is the best method you will use if it is a padded blouse. So I will just do the other side the same way I use the right side to face the wrong side. That's what to face the right side. That's what I will do here also. The right side of the lining must face the right side of the main fabric. So that's what I do. And when I get to the center front also, I will stop. Then I will turn to the I will just stitch the same way I use pin. That's how I will stitch. Then this is what we have. We have a perfect neckline that has been turned perfectly. So this is what you have. So while cutting your lining and your main fabric, make sure it is accurate. It is the same thing. Because if it's not the same thing, you will have issues. It's either the lining is surplus than the main fabric. That's the issue you have in this method. So you need to be very, very careful when you are cutting your main fabric and your lining. Make sure it is the same measurement. Make sure it is the same measurement. So here I have turned it, and you can see it is very neat. This is the first method. Very neat, very accurate, and it will not stress you. So we are moving to the next method, the second method that I told you. So this method, you cannot use this method for a padded blouse because it won't be easy. This is how you are going to turn. You hold your lining and your main fabric like so. Then you push the other part inside. Then you are going to use the right side of the notched area to touch each other. Use the right side of the notched area, the center front, to turn each other. You can see the way I did it. So you can see that you cannot use this method if the blouse is has volume, like pad is inside. You won't be able to fold everything inside like this. So that's why I told you that this method has its own limitation. So here you're going to turn, but this is very, very easy. This is the perfect method if it's not a padded blouse. So whichever method you have chosen to use, it's all well and good. If you follow it the same way I did, we are going to achieve the same result. Whichever method you chose out of the two methods is good. So I'll just pin it down like so. You can see that I'm still using the right side of the main fabric to turn the right side of the lining. That's what I'm still doing in this method also. So I'll be stitching this. I will stitch with half of an inch. So I'll be sewing with half of an inch. This is my neckline sewing allowance. So I'll just go ahead and stitch with half of an inch. So it's not when after I have I'm trying to remove the pin as I am stitching along. So after you are done with this, you are going to turn to your right side through one of your armhole. You can choose any armhole. You just turn out through one of your armhole. So I will just follow this. Then after I'm done, I will notch. Make sure you notch because you may not be able to top stitch in this method. So notching will be very good for your sewing allowance to relax properly in this method. So I will be turning to the right side like this. So I'm trying to turn to the right side. Just take one of the armhole and turn to the right side. And you can see this is beautiful. The neckline has been turned neatly. Wow. So I'll go ahead now and iron. I'll press it very well, and you can see this is very neat. This is very neat. So I'll just go ahead. So one of my videos that I made for this type of tutorial is I use bias to turn, but here we are using lining to turn. So I believe you have learned one or two things in this tutorial. So if you are interested in more of this tutorial, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Use this to encourage this channel, and also like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share this video to any soulmate that may need this type of video. And I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take good care of yourself. Bye.